Hi, y'all. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself so that you'll know, you'll have a forerunning as to what I'm going to tell you later. I started out, young kid, growing up in the Northeast. My family bought a restaurant in North Carolina, Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, the Outer Banks. So from 11 years old till about 15, we lived there and worked in the restaurant. And so I did everything from, dishwasher, busboy, cook, waitress, everything, including, running the show when my mom wasn't around, and cashiering and all the stuff. We had a banquet room. It's had 125 people. And we also had a sports shop. And then from there, we moved to South Carolina. So we went from Delaware to North Carolina to South Carolina. From South Carolina, again, restaurants, working full time the entire time while in school. From South Carolina, I went back to North Carolina when I left home at 17 years old. From 17, then I went out to California, out to San Francisco, where I hooked up with some people that were affiliated with the racetrack within the thoroughbred racing industry. This one particular man encouraged me that I should be a jockey. In the restaurant business, I ended up cutting my finger very severely. I was called to the back of the kitchen to help them do some prep work, being as I had all this knowledge and experience in the kitchen and off the floor, off from waiting tables. And then somebody moved the table with a ketchup can opener, for the big cans of ketchup, and it chopped off the top of my finger here. Well, that kept breaking open and bleeding every time anybody would touch into it or hit me with that. So I went to this affair, East-West Leather Ball out in San Francisco, and somebody bumped into me, and it bled profusely, which is what got me with this person who saw me and said I should be a jockey. Well, long story short, I did end up going out to the racetrack at Santa Anita in Southern California, and or mid-California, and worked my way up from hot walker on up to groom to pony girl to exercise rider to finally to jockey. So after many years in the racing industry, I got away from that after about 10 years and became a cytogenetic technologist, studying analyzing human blood chromosomes under the microscope. And I did that proficiently for how many years? 15 years, yeah. And then moved to the East Coast again. That was out in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Moved to the East Coast, which is where I get Santa Fe Sandy from. Moved to the East Coast in order to take care of my mother, who couldn't handle the altitude, breathing difficulties. So long story short, then I ended up, Florida statutes denied me my livelihood, saying you had to have a bachelor's degree to have continue in this high complexity testing that I was proficient at for 15 years and had won awards at due to this eagle eye I have that God gave me. So our government will support foreigners, comply with licensure requirements, but let's not take care of our own. We shoot our own. So, unfortunately, that's just the truth. And when I went back to riding racehorses, at which point a filly and 2-year-old in training sales who had a fractured pelvis to begin with, but nobody knew that. I was not her rider. I was just hurried on to her for the videotaping of this event. And she went through the outside rail of the turf course to get back to the dirt course, going 44 miles an hour. And that catapulted me into the 3/4 pole. The pole was huge, if you know anything about tracks, it's like a big old oak tree. And so with just a small little helmet on, which, and you can see my flak jacket here in the background hanging on the door. It's under the girth there. Just a small little vest, no big deal. It just helps keep your ribs and stuff intact if you get kicked, but, nothing for high impact and velocity. So it broke me head to toe, left side, left leg, from the ankle all the way up and around and down again. So the inside of the left ankle was shattered, had to be wired and pinned. The tibia was broken. It tore the LCL and the PCL, lateral collateral ligament, and the posterior cruciate ligament out. I had a 3.5 centimeter square femoral lesion, lateral as well. The tibia that was broken was medial, so that's inside. And then let's see, broke my neck. Had to get my neck fused, 2 plates, 8 screws, and 2 pieces of cadaver bone. Brain stem injury and brain trauma. Broke 8 teeth. Let's see, migraine syndrome, stammering, stuttering, inability to articulate. It's coming back now, but I still get dumbfounded now and then and tongue-tied. Tore out, numbness and paralysis down to my both my fingertips and both my toes. And then, let's see, tore out the gluteus medius, quadratus lumborum, and piriformis in the sacroiliac region of the right-hand side of my hip and low lumbar. Oh, I also had to be in traction for a month for my low lumbar because it too, L4 and 5 were impinging upon my spinal cord, as was the 6 and 7, I think it was, in my neck, C6 and 7, and that's what was causing the paralysis. So, that's the synopsis or an overview of what I've been through, and so then I had to relearn a whole new life and go back to school. Meanwhile, taking care of my mother, paying a mortgage, 2 dogs, 4 cats, a horse, a bird, and 2 goats to tend to, 6 acres of land, and nobody helping. And so when some of you are feeling down and out and discouraged and not knowing where to turn or how to pick up the pieces of your life and begin all over again with a shattered existence, I know what you're dealing with, and I can relate. And being stuck in a system. Let me tell you, that is no fun. So, hope you had fun viewing this, and we'll talk more again soon. Okay, God bless, take care, and remain hopeful. Okay?